Welcome back to NBA Cinema. So today we have to talk about NBA legend Sheryl Swoopes and her commentary about Caitlin Clark, because it's going viral on the internet. I think she's misinformed on some of the things she's talking about, and people are saying that she's hating. Now, when you do have a tone such as hers and you're factually incorrect, it can be viewed that way. I remember being a young kid in that Scholastic that Scholastic magazine that they used to have in elementary schools. I remember seeing Sheryl Swoopes. She was one of the first women, because I know they were about to start the WNBA at the time. It wasn't here yet, but it was about to start, and she had a big write-up, as one of the best players in the whole world, best women's players in the whole world. So, Sheryl Swoopes, this isn't just an old person I'm saying this for the younger crowd. This isn't just an old person that doesn't know anything about the game. She was with those early Houston Comets teams. There was a dynasty, with Cynthia Cooper. I believe Tina Thompson was on those teams. They were really nice, man. And, and I'm going to give you a little story about Sheryl Swoopes. That restaurant in Orlando, Florida, NBA City or something like that, they have like the actual size of the hands of the NBA and WNBA athletes, and I put my hand inside of Sheryl Swoopes, and hers was significantly bigger than mine, and I'm 6'3", you know what I'm saying? So she has abnormally large hands, and I have good sized hands, can palm a basketball, all that, but she has abnormally big hands. So I always thought about her after that because of the reality of, some of the gifts that these players have. With that said, she said some comments on Gil's Arena, and I just, I can't rock with the comments that she made. Caitlin Clark is currently averaging 32, 7, 8, shooting 48 from the field, 40 from the arc. 6-foot guard. She's a senior. A lot of people are pitting her and Juju against each other. I'm enjoying the greatness. Because I feel like these young ladies and the following that they have now in college basketball could lead to more eyes on the WNBA. People are going to want to see what Caitlin Clark does at the next level. And these type of comments that I'm about to share with you guys fuel that. And Juju's going to be a monster as well. And there's some other talent. The freshman at South Carolina, Notre Dame, got a young lady. It's just talent everywhere. I watch the games, as I watch the men games. But we're about to listen to these comments from Sheryl Swoopes, and I'll be back. Let's peep it.
This isn't just for Caitlin, but you asked me about Caitlin. If you're going to break a record, to me, if it's legitimate, you have to break that record in the same amount of time that player set it.
Okay.
Right? So if Kelsey Plum set that record in 4 years, well, Caitlin should have broke that record in 4 years. But because there's a COVID year and then there's another year, you know what I mean? So she's already had an extra year to break that record. So is it truly a broken record?
Okay, so what she's saying, the theory behind it isn't factually incorrect. What's incorrect is her facts. Caitlin Clark is a legit senior. This is her 4th season. So I think Sheryl, either she misspoke, you know what I'm saying, or she had a brief memory loss right there, because she is a legit senior. So any record that Caitlin Clark breaks is legit. Now, someone like Armando Bacot breaking records at North Carolina, that's where it becomes a bit weird, because, it's his 5th year. So those aren't truly broken records by the same metrics.
Yeah, that'll go in the record books as Caitlin Clark is the all-time, whatever it is. I don't even know what the number is, but that's the way it'll be. And I don't think it should be. So she can come back another year. She has another year where she can come back. She doesn't have to go like she doesn't have to.
So what year is this for her?
So this is her, she's a senior. She's a senior, but I think her COVID year was last year or this year. I don't know.
Again, Miss Swoopes, those facts are incorrect. She's just a regular 4th-year senior right now. Now, if she elects to come back for that, does Caitlin Clark even qualify for the COVID year? Yeah, does she? Yeah. I think she might be the last class that qualifies for the COVID year. So if she does elect to come back, I think it would have less to do with the records that can be broken and more to do with the NIL money that can be earned over $1 million while you in college, because the college game is larger than the pro game right now. And what you can potentially make as a superstar in the college league is more than you can make in the pro league in America. So if she does elect to come back, I think that is the bigger picture that we need to be looking at, how to fix that. How do we make the pro game more desirable than the college game? And how, more importantly, how can the compensation elevate past that? Because the NBA will always have that, even as well as guys can be paid in college. In the National Basketball Association, there is no comparison once you get, all these endorsements, that second contract and all that type of stuff. So that's what I would look at. But let's continue.
But let's also talk about how much more experience that gives you over other players coming in, right? So people say, dang, like he or she's killing them. But you have a 25-year-old playing against a 20-year-old. Mm-hmm. Like, you should be killing them. Yeah. Because you've been doing it a lot longer than they have.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure, but I know she can come back another year.
So again, Caitlin Clark is not 25 years of age. She's 22. I hate to keep using the North Carolina Tar Heels, but they're one of the better teams right now in the country. But you saw them lose to Clemson last night. And Cormac Ryan, he hasn't shot well all year. He's 25 years of age. He's not killing them. So if a player is in college at that age, typically, if they have all these red shirts where they've been injured and then, they get that fifth year, they just not good enough a lot of times in the men's game to go to the NBA, and they want to earn NIL best way they can, which, kudos to them as young men. As far as the women returning, it would financially make sense for them to return, right? So this wouldn't be an indictment on Caitlin Clark to come back. As I said before, you can make a lot more NIL money.
Caitlin Clark right now probably takes about 40 shots a game.
Carry on.
I know you like that.
Hell yeah.
I said that because when she comes to the league, regardless of what team she goes to that has vets on that team, she probably ain't gonna get 40 shots a game.
Caitlin Clark is getting 22 shots a game. Sheryl Swoopes said about 40. Obviously, she was exaggerating a little bit, but she probably really feels like she's getting up 30 shots a game, which is not true. She's getting up 22 shots a game, shooting 48 from the field, 40 from the arc. And her team needs it, right? She's not a selfish player doing those types of things. She's doing what the team needs to be as competitive as they could possibly be. There's no need to really throw this shade at Caitlin. That's the first time, I felt like it was all shade. I feel like she was just misinformed on some other stuff. But I feel like, obviously she goes to a good WNBA team. She is going to not shoot 22 shots a game right away. But Caitlin Clark is going first in her draft if she elects to go this year. And she will shoot 20 shots a game probably on a bad team. You know what I'm saying? Even if she got vets, because we're looking at, she got some stuff in her, man. And the WNBA game needs somebody like that. So she could be just what the doctor ordered. Now, all this generates interest. Even what Sheryl Swoopes said generates interest, because now you got people that want to prove Sheryl wrong. You got this bulletin board material for Caitlin Clark, whether she addresses it or not, it's there. And there's no way she can avoid it with such a legend like Sheryl Swoopes speaking on it. But I would like to hear what others had to say. I know Rebecca Lobo says she's going to be a fine player, and she took a different tone than Sheryl Swoopes did. You know what I'm saying? Let me read you what Rebecca Lobo said. She says, if Caitlin Clark gets drafted to the Indiana Fever this summer, I believe she will put up MVP caliber numbers as a rookie. While her opponents will be at a different skill level than in college, her teammates will be at another level as well. Her game translates, and that is, something to look at too. Caitlin Clark isn't playing with a lot of other WNBA players. Like if you look at South Carolina, if you look at some of these other teams where, Angel Reese has some other WNBA players around her, Caitlin isn't playing with that caliber of talent. So even on a bad team at the next level, you're playing with a lot of the elite players in the world still. So I think some of her opportunities, some of the things, some of the looks she'll get will be even easier. They may still look like hard looks to us, but they may be easier for her. And you can look at, like, if you just look at her, you look at Steph. Remember how hard it was for Steph to get shots off versus Brandon Rush and those guys on that Kansas team, that Georgetown team, how big they were, with DeJuan Summers and those guys. If you look at, Steph, when he started playing with other pros, he gets his shot off so quick. When he was able to get a little bit more daylight and you had to respect other professional players, he took the league by storm. And all I'm saying is Caitlin Clark has some of those same things in her. She can do it off the dribble, off the catch, and she has that endurance level where I feel like you could run Caitlin through a lot of screens to free her, and she could run around the court all day. So I don't see it the way Sheryl Swoopes sees it. And the tone she took saying you ain't gonna get those same amount of shots would almost suggest that she thinks Caitlin Clark is a selfish non-team basketball player, which is far from the truth. She just with a team that requires her to shoot that much. But I've seen her playmaking create for others, and they don't finish at the level or, at the same caliber that some of the other teams that have elite players do. So I'm just looking at it. I'm like, man, Sheryl, what was your goal in speaking on this? I know Caitlin, there will be an adjustment period, no doubt about it. You're going to be playing against the best of the best, but also when you have a unique skill set, they haven't played against nobody like you either. And this starts to come. You start to overanalyze something that's really good, and it's human nature to look at and poke holes in it and see, okay, it won't work because this reason, or it won't work because that reason. Well, we just gonna have to wait and see. But I don't think she's gonna have no problem in the WNBA. Adjustment period is different from having a whole problem. You know what I'm saying? That a problem means you don't adjust to the level at all, and that type of stuff, man. And we'll be looking forward to Juju continuing to grow as a player, because I think the following that these girls are going to bring from the college game is just what the doctor ordered. Now, they need some sort of rivalry. There needs to be some kind of bird magic type of rivalry. The WNBA needs something like that. And if Angel Reese play like a different position and her and Caitlin Clark were kind of on each other, or if I felt like Angel Reese was going to be a star player at the next level, not to take nothing away from her, but her game, it doesn't scream superstar at the next level. She could be a good player, could even start, you know what I'm saying, but it doesn't scream star at the next level. She's a mega star in college. I could be wrong about this, but I've seen other bigs like Sylvia Fowles and those ladies, and I don't see her as having that type of career, but I hope she does, because they already have a little bit of history there. But I'm saying that type of energy that her and Caitlin Clark have towards one another, or that little bit that happened in the Final Four, that sort of thing is just what the doctor ordered for the WNBA, to have that coming from college to the WNBA. You know what I'm saying? To have that type of rivalry translate over like Bird and Magic did, So That's all I would have to say, man, about this. But let me know what you think in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Till next time. Peace.